Okay, so I got a lot more to say about Star Fox, and in this video, I want to talk about what's going to come next. So we got Star Fox coming next month, and it is basically a remake of Star Fox N64, which is a remake of the original Star Fox game on the SNES. So basically, this would be technically, you can say, the second remake of Star Fox SNES, if you're not counting Star Fox Zero, which people say is technically a reimagining and not necessarily a remake. Doesn't really matter. It's another remake. It's basically the Lilat Wars. Star Fox on the 3DS, even that's basically N64 Star Fox. It's not a remake. It's basically a port. So it definitely does not count as a remake. This is a smart move because they just gained some new fans after having Fox McCloud in the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So a lot of the younger generation are curious about this character. So it makes perfect sense that this new game would just basically be a remake. But here is what I'm hoping they do next. Because they're doing this, I'm hoping that the next Star Fox game is basically going to be a remake of Star Fox 2. So it's going to be exactly the same as this Star Fox game we're getting. Same art style, premise, graphics, all of that, with the multiplayer and all that cool stuff added in. But it's going to be, a remake of Star Fox 2. I think that should be what they do next, and I think that's what they're going to do next. A lot of people keep saying, yeah, Nintendo clearly can't think of a new story or a new direction for the franchise, so they're remaking Star Fox N64 again. It's like, okay, that's fine by me. I think if that's the case, they could just go ahead and remake Star Fox 2. And Star Fox 2 would actually be a much more fun remake because it will have the potential for some real-time strategy in it or for some open world element. Now, for those who have actually played Star Fox 2, you kind of know what I'm talking about. In that game, there's kind of like this top-down view of the entire Lilat system, the map, and you can see the jet, you can see Planet Corneria, and you see different planets that are launching missiles to Planet Corneria, and you have to kind of like make sure you stop them. You have to fly over to them, engage in some dogfight, and destroy the missile before it could try to hit the planet. At the same time, you also have to fly to these other planets, destroy the enemy bases that are launching these missiles to Planet Corneria. So what would this look like in the Star Fox 2 remake? Well, I would like to think it would look a little bit similar to Starlink Battle for Atlas, which is a Ubisoft game. And if you get the Switch version of it, you could play as Star Fox and you can have, his whole crew there to help you. And in that game, it's basically an open world. It's like an open world Star Fox game where you're flying to different planets. So it's really cool. And then when you go to these different planets, you're able to fly all around them, fight enemy bases. You can help grow ally bases and whatnot. And I would think that this could work for a Star Fox 2 remake, since you are having to, stop these missiles from hitting Planet Corneria. You're having to fly to these planets to destroy the enemy bases and all that cool stuff. It would also be cool if they even just make it a top-down mode similar to Star Fox 2. And it kind of looks a little bit similar to games like Hades 2 in that sense, and you're just flying to the other planets and throughout the galaxy, fighting your way to these other planets. That would be cool too. Personally, I think it would be better though if it's a little bit more like Starlink. So then, of course, after they do a Star Fox 2 remake, what would be the next one? Me personally, I would want it to be Star Fox Assault from the GameCube, since that is the Star Fox game that also includes foot missions, which is really cool. And I mean, who wouldn't want to play as Star Fox, like just the character himself and not just riding around in the R-Wing, the Landmaster, and these other big vehicles. Now, I would personally want them to incorporate that in a Star Fox 2 remake. I think that would be good if they did that, because I think a lot of people want that. I think a lot of people want to actually see Star Fox and run around and play as him that way. But if they don't do that, then Star Fox Assault Remake would be perfect. Now, when it comes to the timeline of Star Fox, I don't really know too much, and I don't know if that's really the next game or if it's actually Star Fox Adventures, which I hear a lot of people crap on that game, and then I hear a decent amount of people say they actually like it. It looks like a kind of an interesting game. I mean, he lands on some planet and there's a bunch of dinosaurs. I'm sure they could do a remake and make it way better than what it used to be. Same with Star Fox Assault. But either way, if it is true that Nintendo just can't think of a new story right now, not yet, then this would be the smartest way to go about it, and I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to just remake Star Fox 2 next, and then hopefully Star Fox Assault on the Nintendo GameCube before doing an entirely new story for the franchise. Now, some people think there's a good possibility that the next Star Fox game will be an entirely brand new story, which would be awesome too, but I think it would make more sense to just remake Star Fox 2 than remake Star Fox Assault as well. But as far as a brand new Star Fox game, you know, I have already made a video about that, about what I would want in it and how I would want it to basically play, like, you know, sort of like a sandbox open world game with, you know, different galaxies, and each galaxy has a few planets in it, similar to the Mario Galaxy games. But as far as a new story, a new premise for a Star Fox game, one thing I thought of that would be really awesome would be a steampunk Star Fox game. And how that would work, I don't know, but maybe it could be something like, you know, he goes into another dimension and it's basically just a steampunk version of the Lilat system. I think that would be really cool. Just a Star Fox game with a steampunk aesthetics would be hella cool, in my opinion. One of the first video games that I got on the Nintendo Switch is a game called Cinemora or Cinemora. I'm not sure how you exactly pronounce it, but it's basically this, you know, this arcade type dogfighting game where you're inside of a jet and you're shooting bad guys, and it's kind of like a rail shooter, but it's more like 2D. It's very fun, very beautiful game, beautiful art style. It looks kind of steampunk. I think it is like a steampunk game. That's a really fun game, and that'd be cool if they incorporate these type of 2D missions where it gives you that classic arcade feel to it, while still having the traditional rail shooting and even having some open world free-flying missions and whatnot. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do next, where they go from here. So it makes sense. I'm just hoping that they keep the same art style, aesthetics. I think the realistic animals or whatever, the taxidermy look is the perfect art design. It stands out. It's not generic. It's not the same freaking movie animation look. You know, I'm getting kind of tired of that. Getting tired of the cartoony animated characters like Ratchet and Clank or whatever, or Crash Bandicoot. I'm getting kind of tired of that, if I'm being very honest. And it's good to see something different for a change. And I really think this look is freaking awesome. Like, people pretending to be upset about it, I don't know. I think you're just retarded or something. It's really stupid that people are pretending to be angry about this art design. This art design is freaking cool. It's different. People say, you know, they're tired of the same thing. Well, here's something different, and I think it works. So yeah, that's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm thinking they're gonna do with the franchise. I think next is gonna be Star Fox 2, then Star Fox Assault, and it's gonna be the same art style and level designs, all that jazz. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that's the direction Nintendo's going to take? Do you think they're going to make a completely brand new Star Fox game with a new story? What do you think comes next after this Star Fox game? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys later.